I'm Ginger.
And I'm Dee. And this is Chattin' with CHAP.
It's glad to be back with you because Dee,
No.
infants and babies and toddlers. Oh my! What do we do?
I don't know. Actually, do you remember when you had infants and toddlers and babies? Did you get anything done? Did you clean your house? Did you get school done? Did you make meals?
Well, not always.
At least not all of them in the same day.
No, we kind of rotated. One day we did one day it did not happen all the time.
That's right.
So, no, I didn't do all of them. But you know what? Don't panic. It's okay.
That's right.
Don't panic. We all made it.
We sure did.
So, with each new baby, there is a new family dynamic. You know that. There are little personalities.
Yes.
Man, everybody has their own little personality, and thrown it in there. There is
That's
changing dynamic every single time you throw a new little body in there, and the norm will always be changing.
Yeah.
The norm. Is there a norm? Is there such a thing as a norm? A normal?
I don't know, Ginger. I heard that it was just a setting on your washing machine.
Yes, I do have the normal
I think
setting on my
it's
machine.
just a fairy tale. I
Maybe.
really do, yeah. Because most likely with each new child, you're going to have to do things differently. And I think the key is just to be flexible.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we are so change averse, us humans. We like things the way they are.
Right.
We don't like things to change. And all these little wonderful personalities that God blesses us with have so many needs, and the flexibility quotient goes through the roof.
Yeah,
we need
right.
flexibility with all of this. So just keep that in mind as you're teaching your older ones and you're loving on your little babies. Just God will take you through, and it's just having flexibility with Him and letting Him take charge of the day. So thinking about back to that, Dee, what do you have anything you did that you can share?
Yeah, I remember that I read a lot on the couch nursing the baby.
Yes.
So that was a great time to read aloud to my kids.
Mm-hmm.
Nap time was the time that I got things done. And also I taught, and we're going to have this coming up in an upcoming episode, I did a lot on multi-levels so that I could accomplish a lot with several children at one time, and we're going to talk about that more. But I do remember there wasn't as much individual school as we did a lot together, and just holding the baby, bouncing the baby, and my older ones would take turns with the baby.
Oh yeah, sure. And of course you have those great little bouncy chairs and the swings and all that. If you have babies who love to be in there, that is awesome. You should totally utilize that. If you don't, I didn't. I had hands-on babies. So I lived by the sling and the May-tie.
Right.
I loved my May-tie. The sling was okay, but it kind of got rough on my one shoulder. But the May-tie was balanced in the middle. It was perfect. And I had one little one in particular that was with me all the time. And she liked to watch what was going on. So I would sit her facing out, which was a little different. Most people don't do that. But then she could read my papers. And she's like, oh, Mommy, what are you doing? And this is so cool. So, yeah, co-op. I taught my co-op classes like that. Yeah. Co-op, they're everywhere. Yeah. She was cooking, all that, anything. We'd sit at the kitchen table. I'd be working with the older ones, and she'd be sitting there in the May-ties. Right. I couldn't live without that thing. And definitely nap time. Yeah.
So babies are, I'll say, relatively easy. Relatively easy because they can't get away from you.
Yes.
Let's just say that.
Yes, they're
but
confined.
What happens when those babies turn into toddlers and they start running all over the place and little hands and feet and sticking things in the mouth?
Ew, they learn by that. They learn what is this? They're learning. But that's great, right? Because they're learning. They're using their God-given curiosity to learn, and they're building immunity, so let's remember that. So that's good to do. So just maybe put the dog toys to the side. They get to the doggy bones.
Or they get out to the dog food bowl.
Yeah, oh yeah, choo. Yeah. So we are right there when they're learning, which is good. So we see what they're doing and keep an eye on things maybe. But is there anything that you remember in particular that you did with the toddlers to kind of, I don't know, keep track of what they're doing.
Well, we did live in a place where it was easy for me to kind of block off where we were so that I could see them at all times, because you know how that is when they get away from you and you're not sure what they're doing. That's where the dog food and the dog toys always came into play. So we keep them blocked off here, and I had things that I kept just for school time, just for when we were doing school, special things that they could play with. Sort of like busy bags, which we actually have a session at convention. Yeah, so moms of preschool and toddlers, there's a interactive session at convention where Bonnie Griner is going to talk about how you teach with these little ones, and also you'll be able to create 5 different busy bags that you get to take home with you. Get home, put them on the shelf till school starts up again. And they're the types of things that I would pull down and let my little ones play with while we did school. I also did utilize my older children, and they would have some time with them.
Definitely. Yeah, for sure. So like, if you have a super long napper, take advantage of that. I keep pounding the thing. So yeah, I never did, and I don't think you did either. So like, we did as much as we could.
I was the only super long napper in the house.
That was me, right? So, I was lucky if I had got an hour. But if you have a long napper, take advantage of that. That is super awesome. Honestly, a lot of times my kids just kind of ran around and did whatever, and then I cleaned it up later. I had my last one, pulled all the books off the bottom of the shelf, the kid books off the bottom of the shelf during one of Mr. Demi's algebra lessons that was particularly long. And then he climbed up on the top of this mountain of books, and he was so pleased with himself. So I took a picture of him and I posted it. And a friend of mine who knows Mr. Demi tagged his son and said, "Hey, let your dad see this picture." So I'm like, oh boy. So yeah, I did do things like that. But actually, what I did before when I had 3 in school and 1 little one, is they would rotate and take turns. So they take a half an hour with me, half an hour by themselves, individual work like handwriting, stuff they could do on their own, and a half an hour with the baby.
Yep.
So they would just rotate through things that way, and that really helped out too.
That's great. That's a great idea. Just having your older ones help out. Don't think of that as burdening them, because that's a great learning experience, life skills experience for them. I mean, you're a family, and to help one another out in that way, I think is awesome.
And sometimes it's really great opportunities for learning patience.
Yes, that's right.
And sacrifice, because so many times it's like, I don't want, or they're doing the same book again. But you learn to serve.
That's right. That's right.
And that's part of schooling too. It's why we have them home, right? So we're trying to teach them all these wonderful character traits. Yeah, it's a good opportunity for that.
So I would just say, remember, you can't be it all, have it all, and do it all at the same time. Can't. So when you have little ones, your house might be messy, or your meals might be a little subpar. Might not be the best all the time, but that's okay, because it's like any other time. It's just a season, and we go through different seasons, and some of them are more difficult than others, but it's a season. So the best thing to do is just check your attitude, give your day fully over to Jesus. Yeah. Look at these things as an opportunity, and actually, they're not interruptions. It's a privilege to have our children at home and to have our little ones. So it's a good heart check, just to make sure that if we're feeling frazzled or if we're feeling irritated, it's a good time to check our heart. So
yeah, it really is. That was a big thing for me, to think of it not as an interruption. But an opportunity. So it's an opportunity for me to show kindness. It's an opportunity to teach the child that I am working with to how to handle an interruption and that sort of thing. And I don't always handle it well. But to keep this thought in your mind is good and helpful. And if you don't get homeschooling done a particular day, it's okay. Like a day like today, where it's actually sunny and not raining, go outside, take a walk, go to the park. It counts as PE. Put a blankie out, do your reading, do some science, have them study bugs, play with the mud, whatever. Take advantage of it.
There's a lot of learning that happens in that.
Oh, and this time of the year, March, it's like, just get me out of the house and take advantage of it. It's good. It's all good.
I read that this is the time of year when planning for next year is actually more exciting to a homeschool mom than finishing the current year.
It's not through school. I'm going to plan for next year.
It's your first year homeschooling, and one of the hardest things to accept. It is hard. It is hard. We have an idea of what the day should look like, and we want it to go that way uninterrupted.
When it doesn't, you're like really frustrated.
It is tough.
I remember I do remember letting go of the clean house thing.
That's right.
I like my clean house, and some changes have happened. Like we got a wood stove. Oh, talk about dirt. We got a wood stove on the first floor, not in the basement. Adds all kinds of dirt and cobwebs, little spiders everywhere. My house isn't clean the way I want it to be like that. And then just toys. I have 6 kids, and they range from 16 to 4. And there's always a craft, a pencil, a papers, a toy, something. There's always stuff tucked away somewhere or under the sofa. And it's, sometimes I do stop and say, okay, you know what? We're cleaning everything because I'm going crazy. And that's okay too. But day to day, I just really had to just say, you know what? I got to let this go because I can't.
That's right. Because it'll make you crazy.
It really will. Yeah. And it is hard to learn. I totally agree with you that it's hard to learn.
But you know what? You're doing a good job.
You are.
You are doing a great job. So if nothing else, we want to tell you, you're doing a phenomenal job.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. All right. That's so cool. So next week, we're going to continue this little discussion, and we're going to talk about pre-K and kindergarten.
Yeah, all those little learners.
And they are, you know what, even from infants, they're learning. So even anyone who decides to put their child in school, they're homeschooling from the beginning.
That's right.
So we'll talk a little bit about how to homeschool pre-K and kindergartners this week.
Well, it looks like it worked this week.
It did! Yay! You bet notice. Woohoo!
So,
all right.
Well, this has been Chattin' with Chap. See ya.
Enjoy the sun.